As we've been reporting, Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, died at the age of 88 Monday morning. The Vatican released a statement saying he died of a cerebral stroke that put him into a coma and led to irreversible heart failure. The pontiff had dealt with various health issues in recent years, most recently pneumonia in both lungs that led to episodes of acute respiratory failure. CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jon LaPook joins us now. Doctor, thanks for being here. Can you explain the official cause of death and what it means?
Well, we don't have a lot of details on it, right? But, he had a lot of medical problems. He had part of his lung removed as a young man. He had infections. He had this thing called bronchiectasis, where you have abnormal airways. You have repeated infections. Of course, he had this recent prolonged 5-week hospitalization. I mean, he was really, really sick. I remember Seth Doane interviewed me and said, "Can he recover?" I said, "It's kind of like a prize fighter. He's like, how many times can you get knocked to the mat? After a while, it's hard to get up." So, the official cause of death was a stroke. We don't have the details of what kind of a stroke. I mean, it could be a clot that happens in the brain, or it could be what's called an embolus that comes from the heart, where it travels to the brain. You can have bleeding, you can have not bleeding. But the bottom line is, he had all these underlying conditions. He had the stroke, which is you have too little blood supply to the brain. That can cause death in a number of ways, including shutting down the ability, the centers in the brain that allow you to breathe normally, and even for the centers that allow the heart to work correctly. But the bottom line is he had a long life where he clearly fought through a lot of illness.
Defied the odds in many ways.
And the fact that he even made it through that long hospitalization is really something.
And through Easter. The head of Pope Francis' medical team said he had been on the verge of death at least twice before returning to the Vatican during this recent hospital stay. He insisted on taking part in public events, particularly during Holy Week, and interacting with the public. Why would doctors who had advised him to take it easy have done so? What was it about his condition that still required quite a bit of rest?
Well, he was very ill. And of course, the more exertion you do, the more trouble you can have taking deep breaths and getting enough oxygen to do stuff. But you have to remember, he was a very active pope. And I'm just going to riff off something you said, which is, he made it to Easter. And I have been amazed. I've been a doctor 45 years. I know it's not like medicine. It's not exactly scientific.
They don't teach it to you in school.
They don't teach you this, but I have seen over and over again people make it to a certain date towards the end of their life. He made it to Easter. He died the next day. And there's something to that. There's a lot we don't understand in medicine. This is one thing, the will to live and the will to go on. Clearly, he had this very strong will to live, and he made it to Easter. You have to presume that was a big day for him. And then I hope he rests in peace.
That's very significant. It makes me a little emotional to think about just the power of will. Dr. Jon LaPook, thank you so much.